Hi, here we have a trio of watches which I bought recently. What they all have in common is they are 1930s, 1940s, so World War II era watches. And I thought it quite poignant. Today is Remembrance Sunday, and when I look at these watches, I can't help thinking about the people who would have worn them. All the people who wore these watches would have experienced the Second World War in some form or other. Obviously, I don't know in what form, but these were all bought in England. Chances are they came from English gentlemen who would have been of an age during the Second World War that they would have worn an adult's watch. And that's the thing about watches, is they're such a personal item. Now, I've cleaned all these watches up. I got them relatively cheap off eBay. They didn't have straps with them. Well, that one had a metal strap actually. The middle one wasn't very good, so I've put new straps on them all. They weren't working particularly very well. They're all working to a certain extent now. Although the middle one was working pretty well. But it's still a little slow, a bit hard to wind. It will tick away for a while and it will stop. I've got them all ticking away for a while. Sometimes they need a shake to get going, and after a while they may stop, so they need proper servicing. But I've lifted the look of them. I've cleaned the glass and I've cleaned everything about them really and polished them up. Had the movements out, cleaned the faces very carefully. The hands. Just give them a general polish up. This one is a filled gold one. I might get the back off in a second to show you. But what I was saying is they're a very personal item. So, someone wore that in the probably late 1930s into the wartime. This one's a bit later. This would have been 1940s. It's a jumbo size. It's quite a large watch, which looks good on the wrist even today. With these Art Deco style ones, I love the Art Deco sides, the steps. So Art Deco. Just reminds me of when I was in America, when I was in New York a few years ago and went to the, where you've got the Chrysler building, which is more, I don't know, it's Art Nouveau or Art Deco. And then you've got the Rockefeller Center, which is a very tall building, went inside there, and that's very Art Deco. And it reminds me of all those beautiful Art Deco shapes and styles and all the fixtures and fittings they had in those buildings. And yeah, when you are wearing one of these watches, you're wearing a piece of history. It's a good 80 years old now, still working to some extent. With a service, will carry on working. They're all up for sale on eBay, and this one hasn't got a bid yet, but these two have bids, so they will be selling. This one is a Giza. I think that's how you pronounce it, Giza. I believe it's a German watch. It's got a very interesting copper dial. I polished up the case a fair bit. It was pretty rough, really knocked about. So I've just basically polished it up using a bit of wet and dry, smooth it all off, and it's come up very nice, still retaining a lovely patina. But it's got a little bit more of a polish to it now. And the same with the crystals. I've polished those up with toothpaste. They were these crystals are of some kind of plastic, these early ones, and they go yellow, but a bit of toothpaste, get them out, they pop out. A little bit of toothpaste, whitening toothpaste on a microfiber cloth, give it a good polish up, and they really come up very well. The yellow goes and they become pretty clear. This one, the movement is a little bit wobbly inside the case. It's had a new crown at some point, and I didn't do that, but the number 9 is a little bit rubbed off or faded, not quite sure. But the rest of it's not too bad. I don't know why that's not attracting bids. Actually, it's my favourite out of the 2 tank watches. And this one, without doubt, is clean. Yeah, so quite a bit of gold plating or gold filling, however it is. Okay, so that one on my wrist, 6.5 inch wrist. Again, doesn't want to focus because the light's so bad. Go on, focus. That's it. I bought these NATO style straps. They're like a faux leather, very soft actually, they're really comfortable. Bought those from AliExpress, just a couple of pounds I think, but they do the job really nicely. I'll show you the other one. Yeah, this one's my favourite, the silver one with the black strap. Another good thing about this, it's a chromium plated case. So with this style of NATO strap, you get the material behind the watch, which will stop me getting an allergy if I was to wear it. Although I've got no plans on actually wearing this. But it's a nice thing to just try on, have a look. And this is a Giza, bigger watch. Has very wide lugs. I mean tall, I don't mean the width, I mean you see on the side they come out a lot further than most watches would. I don't know why. Yeah, you can see the lugs are really long. But that gives it a certain style. Maybe that was a fashion at the time, I'm not quite sure. But it makes it sit quite square on the wrist. Because the lugs are so long, I had trouble getting the buckle centre. Because the lugs are so long, you can only pull the buckle so far when you get to that loop. And then that leaves the buckle you do up not centred. So that's a bit of a shame. But it's great with this copper dial. It's got a fantastic patina. Anyway, so that's a quick video about these 1930s, 40s, Second World War era watches, which are very interesting, and you can pick them up ever so cheap. And if you find one that's not working, don't worry too much. Quite often they just need a little bit of a clean up and they might start again. They're good quality, that's why they've lasted so long. The movements are very good quality. They're not overly fragile, I would say. And that one's still ticking. Sometimes this will stop, but it's still going. How's the other one going? Yeah, I think this one's decided to give it a little shake. And it's going again. Yeah, that one does need a service. It's quite cold today as well. I don't think that helps. Once the mechanisms get a bit colder, they can start to seize up slightly. I notice when it's warmer they work better. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Take care.